Hi everyone, my name's Diabetor, and I'm making a really quick video about how to beat Royal Knight Loretta up at Caria Manor easily, because I got a comment from someone on my Mimic Tier video saying that they were having more trouble with her than Radon, and I totally feel that, because I also struggled with her in that video. So I'm going to make a quick guide on how to beat her specifically, because I didn't do a great job of it in that video. I'm doing live commentary for this video. I may or may not cut this out and do post-edited commentary, but we'll see what happens depending on how I feel this goes. If I do end up using this, please leave your feedback and tell me whether or not I suck at it. But anyway, so with that said, let me shut up and let's get into this. So first of all, we're going to be going to the Lakeside Crystal Cave over in Liurnia to get the Spear Talisman. So in order to get here from the Lascar Ruins, you head to the west. You'll see there's 3 islands here, like these island things. And then if you want to find the entrance to this cave really easily, what I do is I take this angle here like this. If you go from the corner of it and then just go straight down to the south and put a marker on it, that takes you directly to the entrance to the cave. Inside the cave, we're going to run past the Site of Grace. You should grab it, obviously. We don't actually need to kill the boss in here. We're just grabbing the Spear Talisman from the chest over here. And so you just run past all the demi-humans. There's a chief in here, so, you know, if you don't want to die, then, you know, deal with them. But inside this chest, we can grab the Spear Talisman. This is going to complement the lance that we're going to be using. I'm about to get owned. I'd rather not. Up next, we're heading over to the Lascar Ruins. We're actually going to come over here and talk to Raya in this gazebo over here. You can find it really easily because it's got the telescope right next to it. So Loretta does physical damage and magic damage. So in order to make fighting her a bit easier, we're going to stack up some resistances for both of those things. So what we're doing here is we're going to get boiled prawn from the Boil Prawn Shack by talking to the Blackguard, Big Boggart, whatever his name is, and he sells us boiled prawn. In order to get him to sell us the boiled prawn, we need to buy Raya's necklace from him, and that involves talking to Raya for her quick little quest line here. So she wants you to get the necklace back. She says the thug should be just down the way. That's over at the Boil Prawn Shack. So if you're here, you go just pretty much directly to the northwest, and you'll see the building. But I'm just going to fast travel because I already have the grace. So at the Boil Prawn Shack, to the southeast, that's where Raya would have been. Like I said, it's not hard to find this building at all. But anyway, so you come over here, you talk to the Blackguard. Tell him, give me the necklace. He wants you to buy it. Purchase, buy the necklace, and then I don't even bother talking to him with his dialogue. I just walk away and then talk to him again. And now you can buy boiled prawn from him. So boiled prawn increases your physical damage negation by, I believe, 15%. Let's see. I currently have 19% physical negation. I ate the prawn, and now I have 31%. So, you know, I think it's a 15% increase, but because of the way it stacks, it doesn't necessarily, you know, go up by 15%. It's like multiplicative or additive or whatever it is. I don't know. But that gives us extra physical resistance, so Loretta should kick our ass a little bit less. Up next, we're heading over to the Artist Shack in Liurnia. So from the Lascar Ruins, you know, you could head over. If you head to the east, that takes you onto the Liurnia Highway, and then all you got to do is you come. If you follow this road, it takes you back into the lake, so you got to follow the eastern road, and that takes you up through those woods and stuff, and that takes you over here to the Artist Shack. I think from the Gatetown Bridge, where you meet Hyetta, there's also a path here that leads up this way. But yeah, so anyway, we're heading over to the Artist Shack, and just south of it, right around here, there's a knight that we need to kill, and he will drop a prayer book for us that gives us a spell that'll be helpful against Loretta. So there's this knight. I strongly recommend using something with Impaling Thrust because he's got that shield. Impaling Thrust gets shield chip damage, so I still do damage to him through his shield when I hit him with Impaling Thrust. You can also totally block one of his attacks and then get behind him for that backstab. You saw how after I rolled the attack I was blocking that allows me to recover from the roll slightly faster so I could start walking sooner and hit him with the backstab more easily. Anyway, on death, loot his corpse, and he drops the Dragon Cult Prayer Book. We're going to turn this in. You can either give it to Brother Corin in the Round Table Hold, or you can give it over to Muriel at the Church of Vows, which is what I'm going to do. So here at the Church of Vows, this is just to the north of the Artist Shack. So there's these rocks you can jump across, and then you just follow the way up to the north and then to the west, and you're at the Church of Vows. Talk to the giant dog. Hey, how you doing? And then give him a prayer book, give him the Dragon Cult prayer book, the Dragon Cult prayer book, excuse me. Study incantations, and we're going to buy Electrify Armament. So this requires 15 faith to cast. I'll show you a talisman you can get, the 2 Fingers Heirloom, to increase your faith, and there's also the faith tier that you can get if you want, which I'll also show you. But this will give our weapon lightning damage, which Loretta is weak to, so that'll help us out. You could also get these other spells if you want them and you have the faith to cast them, but I'm not really going to worry about that right now because she has a bunch of range attacks that she can do, and she can interrupt you if you're doing like a lightning spear or hone bolt or whatever. So I'm just worried about buffing the weapon. Alright, so in case you don't want to level up your faith, we're going to head over here to the Purified Ruins. So this is just to the east of the Lascar Ruins. I just came over to this side of Grace here. And obviously this is south from where the Church of Vow was. But we're going over to the Purified Ruins, and we're going to grab the 2 Fingers Heirloom, which will increase our faith by 5. So once you're inside the ruins, come to the big building where all the bad guys are. There's a cellar here, break the wood, and then you can head right on in. That item is a fingerprint grape for Ada's questline, but I'm not worried about that right now. Inside the chest is the 2 Fingers Heirloom, which increases faith by 5 points. So, in fact, I'm going to equip that now. And that way I can now cast Electrify Armament. If the 2 Fingers Heirloom isn't enough for you to get to the 15 fate requirement, or if you want to use an alternative to that, if you want, something else in a talisman slot, then you can come down here to the Weeping Peninsula. So I like to come to the south of the Lookout Tower. This is the set of graves that's on the road. And then if you head over here, so there's the Demi-Human Forest Ruins. Just to the north of it, there's a Faith Not Crystal tier for your Wondrous Physic that will increase your faith by 10 for 3 minutes. So we're here we are by the ruins. Just north of it, there's these 3 flowers. And then next to them, sorry, maybe it's these 3 flowers. Yeah. And then there's a basin here, and that would have the crystal tier in it. So that increases your faith by 10. So I believe the character with the lowest starting faith is the prisoner with 6. So even if you're playing as the prisoner, then that tier will allow you to hit the 15 faith requirement to cast Electrify Armament. So any character can use that to cast that spell. Up next, just to make sure you have it, I'm going to come over to the War Master Shack where we're going to grab the Lance and the Golden Vow Ash of War. So this is obviously just north of the gate front. You can follow the road up to the Stormhill Shack and then head to the east. That takes you to the War Master Shack. And then we're heading up here to kill a knight that drops Golden Vow. And on this ruin right here, we're going to grab the Lance, which is the weapon that I'm using right now. Oh, also, while you're here, you should... in the War Master Shack, you can talk to Bernal, and he will sell you the Impaling Thrust Ash of War, which does a bunch of poise damage on a weapon like the Lance. It's also really good on greatswords. It does the same amount of poise damage, and, it gets good range, so it's really effective for breaking enemy stances, so you can get, like, a riposte and stuff better on them, or more easily on them. So on this little cliff, here's this knight. If you have the lance already, it's easy to just hit him with a couple impaling thrusts and knock him off the horse. I say easy. Easy's a relative term, because I just bungled it. You can also kill the horse, but if you break his poise, he just falls right off. He's not cooperating with me right now, but whatever. The horse is nearly dead. It's usually easier to do that. Once he falls off, you can get a riposte on him while he's on the ground, and that'll usually kill him. And then he drops the Golden Vow Ash of War, which is a buff that you can put on any weapon. And when you cast it, it increases your damage and all damage resistances. Anyway, so after grabbing that, we're also going to jump down onto this ruin here. And in the corner, we're going to grab the lance. This requires 20 strength to wield, so I believe... Yeah, so the lance requires 20 strength and 14 dex, so you should be able to hit that pretty easily. If you have, what is it, like 14 strength, you should be able to two-hand it and meet that strength requirement. So all you need to really worry about is the 14 dex. Finally, we're going to head over to Caelid, and in Celia, Town of Sorcery, we're going to grab the Spelldrake Talisman +1 to increase our magic resistance, because Loretta does a bunch of magic damage. So you can get here just from coming through Caelid. If you come into the main road, once you get down to the swamp, you can just head to the northwest, or excuse me, the northeast end of it, and that's Celia. Alternatively, you can also get here really easily from Celia Crystal Tunnel. So you can get to Celia Crystal Tunnel from the Dragonburnt Ruins over by the first step. You know, many people will have already run into this because it's kind of a trick that the devs put in to fuck with us. But there's two cellars in this ruins. The one that's easy to find, which is right around here on this spot of it, that one has a trap chest that takes you over to Celia Crystal Tunnel, and then you can just head out of Celia Crystal Tunnel. I believe it's to the south of wherever you spawn in. You can head out, and then that takes you right here to Celia. Celia is filled with invisible sorcerers that'll kick your ass, so be careful of them. What I like to do is from the stairs, if you come over right around the corner, here's where the painting is. If you're on Torrent, you can easily jump up on top of this little balcony. And then if you jump up onto the banister, which can be a bit of a tricky, you can double jump. Oh, I fucked it up. Okay. Come up onto the banister, and then you can jump up onto the roof. And then from the roof, you just come around to this tower. If you light the fire, that breaks one of the seals in town. So there's 3 fires that you need to light in order to complete, like, the Celia mini side quest, whatever you want to call it, to break that seal and that seal over there. But we're just worried about breaking that one seal. So from where the Site of Grace is, if you head up the steps and make a left around here, then there's 2 sorcerers over here, be careful. But that broke this seal, and inside this chest is the Spelldrake Talisman +1, which increases your magic resistance by, I want to say, 11%, something along those lines. So that should help a lot with Loretta. I don't know if I said that previous thing, the Spelldrake Talisman, I don't know if I said that was the last one, but I actually lied. There's one more thing we're going to grab. I believe it's on this minor Erdtree. It could be wrong. It could also be this Erdtree over here. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm pretty sure it's this one on the northeast end of Liurnia. We're going to kill the Erdtree avatar over here to get the lightning shrouded crystal tier so that we can get some extra lightning damage on Loretta. So obviously you get here by coming all the way up the highway, so you know you can just go past the Church of Vows and keep following the highway north. That takes you up to the Mausoleum compound, and then you just head around the corner to the Erdtree. That was really loud. So if you get too close to these ancestral followers, they aggro on you, so that's why you can see by my stamina that I'm in combat right now. If you run past that first group and then come over here on the left, you can avoid aggroing this second group over here, and so you don't have to worry about them. And the first group has already lost aggro on me, so you don't have to worry about them too much. So here's the tree. If you have fire damage, that's really effective. In fact, I'm going to use fire damage. I always advocate for using fire pots because they're just nice to have. Let's see. Is the tree coming to kick my ass? No. But yeah, so fire pots are really effective against this. If these things give you a hard time, you can just stay on Torrent and throw fire pots on it and run away. But I'm going to get down on foot I like using the lance with Impaling Thrust against these guys because they don't have that much poise. If I had Fire Grease equipped on this lance, that would also be super helpful. Yeah, see? It jumps up, floats for a second, and then you dodge. Notice how I'm only doing one hit at a time. I'm not trying to like mash the attack button. That way, every time it does an attack, you know, I'm not in like a recovery animation, so I can actually dodge and not get owned. What? Except for there. I spoke too soon. I'm out of FP, so I should back off and restore it. And that's what I'll do. So you see how when it does that golden land attack, I run away and then I run in like a circle around the avatar. So that way the golden land's bullets land behind me, and then since I ran away from the avatar, it can't hit me while I'm running away from the bullets. And it helps if you unlock and, you know, make sure your way is clear so you don't run into a wall or something. Uh-oh. Am I about to get owned live? Not yet. Ah, no, let me do the riposte. Uh-oh. If you back away from it, it'll do a combo. It only does those combos like that if you run away from it and don't stay close to it. Which is why I like rolling into it instead of rolling away from it. But anyway, so on death, this thing will drop the lightning shrouding tier. I think it also drops the magic and holy ones too. But what we're concerned about is the lightning tier, which we're going to put in the physic, so we can do more lightning damage against Loretta. Alright, so here I am at Caria Manor, right before Loretta, so let's prepare for the fight. So I'm going to use that lightning shrouding tier. If you need it, you can use the Faith Knot crystal tier that we picked up. Alternatively, I recommend something like the Crimson Burst tier, which you can get from the Erdtree in the Weeping Peninsula. This one gives you health regen, which is what I'm going to go with right now, because I like that. Alternative options, I don't know, it's up to you really. The charge attack tier is pretty good. If you get the stance break on her, then you get a free charge R2 on her as like a in place of a riposte, because you can't riposte her. So you get the stance break, and then you can hit her with a charge R2, and so, you know, this is good for that. Or, you know, whatever your preferences are. But I definitely recommend at least the lightning tier, because that's part of our strategy. I'm also going to go to Memorize Spell, and I'm going to go to the Support Incantations and equip Electrify Armament. You're going to need a Sacred Seal for this, and make sure you upgrade it, because the Electrify Armament spell gets increased based on your incant scaling. So I'm going to choose whichever one gives me the highest scaling right now. So that's this one, the Finger Seal. So I've got the Lance with Impaling Thrust. You need a seal. So make sure you grab whichever seal gives you higher incant scaling. In this case, I'm going with the Finger Seal because it's the one that I have that gives me the highest scaling. I'm not bothering to upgrade it, but obviously you should upgrade it so you get better incant scaling. But yeah, so we're going to need that to cast the Electrify Armament spell. Then I have a dagger. You can use whichever weapon you want because Golden Vow can go on any weapon. I just use a dagger because they're light and I always have 100 of them. I'm going to put Golden Vow on this so that I can buff myself before the fight. On the Lance, I've got Impaling Thrust. Whatever armor you want. Preferably, you should get something that gives you good magic resistance. Usually, like robes and stuff will give you good magic resistance because those are typically what Loretta does that does the most damage. But I'm just going to go with my drip that I prefer. I'm going to take off these Briar Gauntlets. In the event that you have anything that, any part of the Briar set, I recommend not using it for this fight because she if you get a stance break on her and you roll into her, then it cancels her, like, oh fuck, I've been stance broken animation. And so you lose out on like a free pseudo riposte. You know, because you can't actually riposte her, but you can do like a charge R2 or something, so I'm going to call it a pseudo riposte. And if you hit her with the Briar Armor, then you don't get to do that, because she gets knocked out of that animation. I'm also going to use the Two Fingers Heirloom to increase my faith by 5, so that I can cast Electrify Armament. And let's see, we grab the Spelldrake Talisman +1, which increases our magic negation. Like I said, I think it's a 14% increase, so I have 20 right now. Yeah, and I go up to 34, so it's like 14 or 16, something like that. So that'll make it easier to survive her magic attacks. And then if you have your third talisman slot, you can also go with something like the Spear Talisman, or, you know, if you don't need the Two Fingers Heirloom, if you're using the Faith tier or whatever, then you can use something like the Spear Talisman instead. This just gives you a bit extra damage if you use the Lance or a different weapon that does pierce damage. I'm not going to use it right now because I'm going to assume that you only have 2 talismans. But, you know, keep that in mind. And then you should get something like fan daggers or throwing daggers or bone darts. These allow you to maintain her poise damage if she dodges away from you. So you're going to hit her with Impaling Thrust to try and break her stance. And if you hit her with Impaling Thrust and then she jumps away, then after a few seconds, her poise health will begin to regenerate. So what you want to do when she jumps away is you hit her with a throwing dagger, and then that stops her poise from regenerating, so that it's easier to get a poise break on her. Alright. So, before I start the fight, you know, so I haven't started the fight at all yet, so she doesn't spawn when I come in the room. But if you have the fog wall, then, you know, you can just kill the enemies or, you know, die and respawn at the Stake of Marika over there. And then that way you can cast your buffs and stuff before you enter the fog wall, without having to worry about these enemies attacking you. But anyway, so I'm going to check my physic, cast Golden Vow, and then I'm going to electrify the Lance. Let's see, I get 85 lightning damage, which isn't great. Like I said, if I upgraded the seal, I would get better incant scaling, which would give me more lightning damage. But it doesn't really matter. That's kind of a secondary thing here. So as soon as he spawns in, you want to hit her with Impaling Thrust. It should take 3 Impaling Thrusts to break her poise. Let's see, she dodged away from me, so I hit her with Fan Daggers. There we go. Let your stamina recharge for a second, and then hit her with the Charge R2. Oh, I panic rolled there. That's 2. 3. Let my stamina recharge. Hit her with the Charge R2. You want to try to keep her in this pool of water. You want to try to keep her in this pool of water if you're using the lightning damage, because that makes her even weaker to lightning. She starts off with a base 0 lightning resistance, but then in the pool she gets a negative 10% lightning damage resistance, and so you get you know, extra damage against her. When she goes to phase 2, this attack doesn't do any damage to you, so that's an opportunity to get a couple hits in, or to heal if you need to. And you saw there, I was able to get the stance break really quick. This is me talking in post now. So here she does her bow. We're going to watch this in slow motion. She's going to jump up and summon the bow and then pull it back. And then she points it at you and it glows for a second, right? There. You saw that? So after the glow is done, that's when you want to dodge. And you want to dodge toward her. Just wait for her to, you know, fire it. I'll probably add some commentary and post to that, in fact, with a slowdown. Oh, I almost died there. Oh, you know, I totally forgot to use the boiled prawn, too, so don't forget to do that. You know, that would have been helpful. but it's not a huge deal. Ooh, apparently I headshotted her, which stunned her, so that's cool. Ow. See how that didn't do like a gigantic amount of damage to me though? That's because of that Spelldrake Talisman. Ah, no! Okay, I got owned, but you get the general point. Let's see, Wondrous Physic, I cast Golden Vow, consume the Prawn, and then I cast Electrify Armament, refill my FP, and then we go into the boss fight. Hit her with Impaling Thrust while she's casting the Glintblade Phalanx. You see, she's doing significantly less damage now because I used the Boiled Prawn that time, so that's really good to have. Instead of trying to go for an Impaling Thrust there, I hit her with a Fan Dagger because it's faster, and it just stops your poise from regenerating. Ow. The only reason I didn't die there is because I had the health regen from the Crystal Tear, so that's something to keep in mind. It's always a good tier to have. Fucking A. It's about time I got that voice break. So now she's going to transition to phase 2 because she's at 50% health, so I can get a couple Impaling Thrusts in. If I had more stamina, I could have done a third one there, but she would have cast the Glintblade Phalanx anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to attack her when her poise was broken. That missed, apparently. Cool. Oh. Flask. Golden Vow. Prawn. Electrify Armament. Drink FP. Go into the boss fight. Okay. Third time's a charm. I'm not going to get on this time. I might have even cut out that second attempt there, but, you know, I'm sure you'll do fine. Ow. You know, Loretta's horse has a fat ass. One, two, stamina, quick. Damn, I got the stance break, but she cast the Phalanx, so I couldn't capitalize on it. I want to back off and see if I can get her to come back into the water. Or if I have a chance to electrify my spear. Yeah, here we go. Then I can get that extra lightning damage from the water. Ow! I bungled that one. Uh-oh. You see how I back off instead of letting her do the third part of the combo? Because that's what keeps killing me, is when she does her combo vortex shit. Uh-oh. No! Not this time, bitch! Okay, that was close. Are you fucking joking? Future Diabeater here. So if she does that attack at you, you want to dodge to the side, not behind her. Fucking joking. Really? Oh my goodness. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at how much health she has. Alright, fourth time is the charm. This is the one. I probably showed the third one, so I might do this one like sped up or something, because I'm sure you got the point. Ow. Stay still for fuck's sake. What? Really? There we go. Post commentary again. So here she does that attack again, and you'll see this time. So she jumps at me, and instead of dodging behind her, I dodged into her, or I could have also dodged like backwards away from her, but perpendicular to the direction she was going, and that way she wouldn't have hit me. There. As soon as I stopped trying to talk, I was able to beat her. I'm not used to doing live commentary, so it takes up too much of my brain power to be able to talk and play at the same time without getting owned. But anyway, hopefully this video turns out the way I want it to. Hopefully you find it helpful. Leave any feedback you have down in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe. And I will catch you later.